welcome Mr. Walden. How you doing, Mr. Walden?
I'm doing great.
Hello,
Good to
Mr.
see you.
Walden.
How are
Good
you
to
all doing? Good, good.
Hold on, let me tell Dr. I'm gonna tell her add to the stream.
let her on.
Dr. Thomas, we're gonna let Walden, he's gonna discuss some of his art, and then we'll bring you right back. Wait.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Dr. Thomas?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're gonna let Walden, let's see some art.
Yeah. And I'm very good friends with Dr. Thomas. And I just want to give people just a little background on myself. My name is Laurence Walden. A lot of people call me Blinky, but Walden is what most people call me. I've been doing art practically all of my life. When I was in the Air Force, I was a technical illustrator, and I was also the featured jazz vocalist with the United Air Force Band during the Vietnam era. One of the things that I found in doing art, I've always wanted to do something a little bit different from most people. And so one of the things that I've been doing with my artwork, I've been repurposing fine dining cutlery into doing art pieces. A lot of times people take a look at silverware and stuff just as regular utensils. And can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we hear you. I just removed us, removed us so you can have full screen. But we hear you.
So by repurposing fine dining cutlery, we look at everybody's got grandma's silverware stuck in the drawer somewhere. Somebody's got probably silver trays and stuff. So over the years, I came up with repurposing fine dining cutlery into decorative heritage masks. When the Europeans went into Africa, they took the designs of some of the African masks, and that's how they made the shapes for their spoons, their forks, their knives, their platters, and their trays. And what I've done, I've taken that fine dining cutlery and I've repurposed those utensils back into African masks where the design and the concept came from in the first place. So here we have a decorative mask that's made out of silverware. And these are on my website, which is thoushalt.live. And they're made out of sterling silver, silver plate, brass, copper, and cowrie shells. And they have an attachment on the back where you can hang it on the wall. And each one is coated with polyurethane so as not to tarnish. And this is one of the designs. I have another design. This is also another one that you can see is made out of spoons and forks and knives and platters and trays. And again, these are on our website at thoushalt.live. And so also I've been able to take some rope and cover it with a metal foil to make dreads. So some of the masks actually have dreads on them. And again, it's got the attachment on the back where it hangs on the wall. And each one is coated with polyurethane. And the average price on these is some of them are $450, some of them are $500, some of them are $600. That's another one. And then I have another one here. Like you say, they're all different. And you can see that each one is made out of sterling silver spoons and knives and brass and copper. And some of the mouths are made out of copper pieces, brass pieces, and some cowrie shells. So in addition to doing repurposed artwork, I also do abstract artwork. And I do abstract artwork. And this is one of my paintings. It's called the Bird Rock. And this is 24 by 30. And, this is an original painting. And again, it's on a canvas wrap. And then I have another one here. This is entitled Embrace. It's an original painting that I did out of oil and acrylics. And it's 24 by 30. And both of these two pieces are like $450. I also do murals. I also do portraits. One of the things I've done with repurposing art, I've been able to make these small statues that out of spoons and forks and knives and silver cups where you can put your pen and pencils in the front. Your business cards in the front. You put your pen and pencils in the back. And I've been doing art. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, how long you been doing art? I said, about 60, 70 years. I actually have the first original painting that I did in a school newspaper from 1952 from Carter School in Chicago, and a note from my kindergarten teacher to my mother. And I was a technical illustrator while I was in the Air Force. And so art has been my mainstay. I love it. In addition to that, I love singing jazz. I love performing. And this month is dedicated to women, successful women. And we just lost a very, very, very good friend of mine in Los Angeles, a well-renowned international jazz vocalist by the name of Barbara Morrison. And I'd just like to give a shout out to her family and saying that they have my deepest regrets in losing Barbara. She was a good friend, a great person. I wrote a poem for her that I sent to them that I'd like to sing it for you. Can I do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a tribute to Barbara Morrison. She was a lady who sang for a very, very long time. We love to hear her sing. She was the queen of swing. This one thing I must say. She had a style that made you smile when she sang her song in a blues and jazzy way. But then one magic day, she went away, as if she flew away on the wings of a dove. The greatest thing she left with us was her songs of heartache, happiness, and love. That's for Miss Barbara Morrison.
Ooh, yay. Thank you for sharing that with us. That was so nice.
So right now my artwork is on display at the Art Center here in Jacksonville on Hendricks Avenue. My artwork is also on display at the Anacostia Art Gallery in Washington, D.C. My artwork is also on display at the Duns Josephine Hotel in Overtown, Miami, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I have close to about 60, 70 pieces on display there. And the Duns Josephine Hotel was one of the two hotels. It was the Hampton House and the Duns Josephine Hotel back in the day in the 50s and the 60s, where African Americans could stay. And the Duns Josephine Hotel has just recently been open for the past 3 years under the CEO direction of Miss Christine Kitchen. And that's where my artwork is hanging in Miami. And then I met a young lady who was visiting there, who runs the Anacostia Art Gallery in Washington, D.C., and she purchased some of my masks, and we're planning on going there doing some things. But one of the things that I try to let people know that good art is the result of a collaboration between Almighty God and the artist.
Mm-hmm.
Our Father who art in heaven.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Walden. So we're going to be doing some other things in the future, so we're going to be seeing more of Mr. Walden.
May I ask him a quick question before we switch off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Walden, I'm of course I'm that one. So I'm on your website and I want to know, why do the masks that I want? Of course, I want the ones that are 2,500 and 1,100. Those are the ones that I'm going to instantly. Let me ask a question though. When you mentioned those two hotels, and Joe, I'm not gonna. I just want to ask a question because I think it's a great space for him to share.
Okay.
But can you tell us a little bit about? You talked about the historic value of those hotels, and when you mentioned the names, I started smiling because I knew exactly what you were going to talk about in that moment. But with those hotels being the only places for African Americans to live or to stay during that time, how important is it for us to really know about the history of those kinds of places?
Well, I think it's very important. It was really funny. When I lived in Los Angeles, I met a young lady and we dated for a while, and we've always remained friends. Her name was Gloria Godet. And about 30 years ago, she was telling me that she was from Miami and that her father was the first African American to own a cab company in Miami. And then some 30 years later, I go to Miami to do an art show and I meet the CEO of the hotel. And when she looked at my mask and I explained to her why I made those masks, she took me by the hotel. And in turn, she hired me to do all the artwork for the entire hotel. The unique thing about the Dunn's Josephine Hotel is that the theme of the entire hotel is the Harlem Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Each room is named after an important figure from the Harlem Renaissance. There's the Moms Mabley Suite, the Nat King Cole Suite, the Nicholas Brothers Suite, the Josephine Baker Suite, the Billie Holiday Suite, and so forth. And I've always embraced history. I love history. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this is my own personal opinion, but musicians, jazz musicians, and people of that era, that was the front runner of race relations in America, because you had musicians, white musicians and black musicians and people in the industry were working with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it had nothing to do about the color of your skin. The fact was, can you sing? Can you dance? Can you play the piano?
Right.
And they got along and did things together collectively way before anybody came along and said that you have to open the doors for African Americans to do certain things. Right. If everybody knew about all of the things that people use the world over that have been created by African Americans, the world would be a whole lot better place. The world of golf, for years, never let African Americans play. Yep. But in 1889, an African American invented the first wooden golf tee that they used for 50 years before African Americans were supposed to were allowed to play golf.
That's right.
When we get up in the morning and go to the ice box, and it was an African American that invented the refrigerator. When you tie your shoes, an African American did your shoes. And the list goes on and on. Even up until this very day, there's a black woman who just recently was inducted into the Air Force Engineers Hall of Fame, a black woman. She invented the GPS that everybody uses. So the list goes on and on. The importance of knowing your history. And I always tell people that February is Black History Month for everybody who is not black.
Black. That's right. I said all of that. I agree.
Black folks embrace and understand the greatness of Black history each and every day of the year.
Yes, sir. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Thank you for sharing that
agree.
story with us. We appreciate that. That was very thorough and very helpful, insightful. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.